Microsoft over the past few years has bought studios to increase and improve the output of their games. The power moves by Xbox has made the industry pay attention more and more and take this software company more seriously. Their competitor Sony does not necessarily need to go out and have an answer to this move. However, there is a lot of Sony fans that actually do want them to purchase more studios. So that's what this video today is about. I'll be presenting to you 5 studios that I think if Sony is looking into buying studios, they should look at these particular studios. And not only would it be competitive, but it'll show that they're not even letting an inch of the narrative go, that they are the king of gaming.
Together, you can help us reconnect. You can make America whole.
No, America's finished.
Sam, if we don't all come together again, humanity will not survive.
We don't need a country. Not anymore.
We do. Alone, we have no future.
Bridget, you're the president of jack shit.
The first studio they should buy should be no surprise to anyone. It's Kojima Productions. I'm not the biggest fan of the man in charge of this studio, or even really his games in general. But we cannot deny his clout in this industry in general, and how many fanboys will go crazy over this man. He is the only developer that I've ever seen that has more clout than the games he makes. Another reason why they should buy Kojima Productions is it falls in with their single player focused experience. The difference is it's not your average Sony entertainment game in any means. Kojima makes his own games. They're very unique. They focus on sci-fi. And Death Stranding is already a PS4 exclusive, so it's not even really anything different at this point. They've been working together for years. Before someone else buys this company, which I don't think Kojima is even looking into selling his company at all. But sometimes you need to go above and beyond and secure that future. And that's why I think Sony needs to buy Kojima Productions.
We're dealing with dangerous, unknown forces here. What's the cause and what's the effect? Are we the starting point, or just a necessary evil in this? We're on a mission to find answers to these questions. Or die trying. This is Zachariah Trench, the director of the Federal Bureau of Control.
Sony has a tight hold on the single-player focused experience. Sure, other companies have amazing single-player games such as CD Projekt Red, Rockstar. Companies such as these, they're multi-plats. It takes them multiple years to make a game on the quality of a studio like Naughty Dog with Last of Us 2, or even Santa Monica with God of War. When you are putting out hits more often than everyone else, you tend to be the highlight of that trade entirely. So I think what they should do is they should make that quality stronger. And they should buy Remedy Entertainment. Yes, I know if any of you have been watching my channel, you know for a fact I did not like Quantum Break. I thought Quantum Break was a bad game. I played a little bit of it and I turned that shit right off. But we cannot say that it's a really good foundation to something spectacular. They've made games like, Max Payne, Alan Wake, and has huge potential with making something great with this proper formula that they're doing, and they need good guidance. And I feel like a successful company like Sony in the single player narrative focused experience could make something that is phenomenal with guidance. And that's why I think they should buy Remedy Entertainment.
Looking to the future always brings us back to the past. Can you feel them? I can still hear their voices. Their endless torment reshapes our moon.
Sony's biggest failure during the entire PS4 generation, in my personal opinion, is the lack of multiplayer experience game. Now, the reason that this wasn't extremely noticeable is because they had such amazing and successful single player games like God of War, Last of Us. Regardless if Last of Us has a multiplayer, the single player was good enough to carry everything else and make a lot of people even forget that it had a multiplayer. However, when it comes to, you know, this type of success, it's not guaranteed forever. Now, I do think that there's not a slim chance that they are going to start making bad games. I feel like when it comes to that single player space, Sony got that on lock. They know how to make it. They know how to present their games. I call it the Last of Us look. But at the end of the day, they have a huge fan base that love that kind of gameplay, love that kind of game. And I feel like that is going to be the direction they continue taking the company. And they're going to do successful because of it. But just in case if the success of these single player games doesn't continue in the next 10 years, they really need to focus on strengthening the weaknesses of their games, which is multiplayer. They do have some games that have multiplayer, but they need, you know, that go-to, that Halo experience that's on the PlayStation platform, that everyone, all the multiplayer junkies, because there's people that enjoy single player games and there's people that enjoy multiplayer games, and there's people that enjoy both, but you have to cater to both of them and not just one of them. So I do feel like they need to, you know, strengthen that, and that's why I feel like they need to buy Bungie. Yes, I know it's Bungie. All of you guys know that I love this franchise, and if they would buy it, it would go to an exclusive. But I personally feel like if they bought Bungie, and with their expertise in that market, in that first-person shooter market, especially with the separation of Activision, that, you know, they would even be more open to being bought because they're not part of Activision anymore. And I feel like this one studio can fix their entire lack of multiplayer experience. And if I don't know how much money they'd have to give Bungie, you know, give them more money if they did buy them to work on more projects is what I would say. Let them build a foundation. Maybe let them reimagine Killzone in their thought process and see if they can bring that game to a completely different standpoint. You know, a lot of people want to go out and use the words back when Bungie was making Halo. You know, Sony needs that Halo killer. Sony needs that Halo competition. Who else is the best person to beat Halo? This is the original companies who designed Halo. This is the biggest and most important studio that I have on this list that I really feel like Sony needs to just pretty much write them a blank check. And it's like, here, fill out the figure. Don't show it to me. Just go cash it and sign this paperwork, and you guys are ours. And that's just my personal opinion. Another studio that I think they should buy is, it's a no-brainer. It's Insomniac Games. They're in a weird position to be truthful with this, to be honest. Both Insomniac and Sony has benefited greatly without either one of them having to invest heavily into the other one. Does Sony need to buy them to continue to benefit from their games such as Spider-Man, Ratchet and Clank? Doubtful. As long as they're successful and give them quality games, I don't really see nothing has to change with them. But I do feel like if Sony's competitors such as Microsoft buying up studios, and even Google with that Stadia, whatever the hell it's called, you know, the impact of that market for their streaming services, they might buy a company called Insomniac to make exclusive games. And Google has been known to pull out a lot of money for nothing, for no reason. So does Sony have to buy Insomniac? No. But I would say pick them up. That way, you know, like I said, no competitor can pick them up. Because there ain't nothing that can be worse than Insomniac coming out on Microsoft stage that they bought them. Imagine Ninja Theory in a completely different level. Or Google bought them because they needed a good first line party for people to buy their streaming service. And I think that's very possible. As long as a company isn't owned by you, it can always be owned by someone else. And that's solely the reason that I think they should buy them.
In the hands of a true assassin, The deadliest weapon isn't what you'd think. It's not a silenced pistol, nor some concealed blade. It's improvisation. Boom. It's using your head. Mastering misdirection.
Now my next pick, just hear me out. This is gonna sound crazy, and I know a lot of you aren't really gonna be about this next one. But I honestly think that PlayStation and Sony, well, obviously they're together, so Sony should really look into buying IO Interactive. Now I think this would be a great purchase for PlayStation. They're, obviously they're gonna have to make some changes, of course. They're not the greatest studio, but I don't think they're by far the worst. I think if they bought this studio and filled it with, some of the talent that's around their other studios, like Naughty Dog, the people who make God of War. I literally just said their name. Santa Monica. And I think if you, get some of the talent there, maybe have them co-work on something to really get a feel of how this stuff should work. And let's not forget they own Hitman. Hitman would come with this transaction. Picture a remake of Hitman with some of the help from like a team like Naughty Dog. Sony and IO Interactive, I honestly feel they can make some amazing games. Give them a new IP after they prove themselves. If you want to reboot Hitman. And I think that they should buy them. These studios, I truly believe, can make Sony way more competitive than they are now. And they're doing amazing right now. They're outselling their competition, in some cases, by double. Sales speak for themselves. Let's not forget that, this is the same company that came from the PS2 to the PS3. So every company can be dethroned. And that's why I feel like Sony shouldn't get comfortable where they're at now. Instead of, letting it just drift. Instead of being okay with the status quo at the moment because they've been doing so well, they should double down and make sure that they're never dethroned as the king of games, especially on console. So, tell me what you guys think. Is there any of my choices that you guys don't agree with? I'm sure the IO Interactive, a lot of you get pissed about that. What studios do you think they should buy? Put it in the comment section below. I almost put Blueho on here. I don't know why. I felt like that would be a good studio, but I couldn't really make room for it. But definitely hit this video, give it that love, like that thumbs up if you don't mind. Share this video. I like my videos to get to as many people as possible. And until next time, this is Gaming Addict. I'm out of here. Peace.